So how do we become experts in renovation, reconstruction, remodeling, relationships? I think it comes down to one gigantic thing. Listen. How we listen. Do we listen deeply? Are we interested in what the other person has to say? Because when somebody is doing some sort of action that is demolishing, that is tearing down, it is always the case that that person is suffering. They are suffering on the inside. And as human beings, for some reason, when we suffer, there's a part of it that wants other people to suffer with us. We don't want to suffer alone. And so I believe that when people are tearing people down, when they're tearing relationships down, when they're trying to demolish, it's because they're suffering. And so as listeners, as people who deeply listen, as people who care with compassion, we have to listen with love, and we have to listen in a way that we are looking for the suffering in the person we're listening to and trying to understand the source of the suffering. People won't always come out and tell you why they're suffering or that they're suffering, and they may not even really understand that they're suffering. But I believe when people are tearing people down, when people are angry and just trying to demolish relationships, it's because they're suffering. And if we're able to listen in a way that we're looking for the suffering, even if by listening to them we feel suffering ourselves, then that's what compassion is, to suffer with. Compassion is a compound word in Latin. It means to suffer with. So if we're able to listen in a way to look for the suffering in the individual that we're talking to, and then try to understand the source of the suffering, maybe we don't have a solution. Maybe we don't know the solution to the problem. But that's not the most important thing. The most important thing is that we listen. And we are a source of compassion for that individual. And then I think we start to see all the demolition decreasing, and we begin to see renovation. Will you listen with compassion? Will you look for the suffering in others and try to understand the source? You will have ample opportunity. What will you do with it? Make the most of it. Moyo, everywhere we go, listen deeply.